Tonight, in an Ottawa courtroom today, this city's darkest day revisited.
This is a very tragic case. My heart goes out to all of the people that were affected by this.
A guilty plea in the murders of 4 kids and 2 adults in a Barrhaven home. Grim details of what happened that winter day before a life sentence is handed out. As we reflect on the contributions of veterans this November.
She was one of the few recognized women's veterans during the Second World War.
The name of a Rockcliffe street will pay a powerful tribute. And the stunning off-field move from the Ottawa Redblacks.
Build a consistent winner where, we're in the playoffs each year, fighting for a chance to win a Grey Cup.
Snapping up a new head coach and GM from Toronto before the CFL season is in the books. Is Ryan Dinwiddie the key to holding on to fans in Ottawa? Good evening. We begin tonight with a guilty plea in one of the worst mass killings in the city's history. A 20-year-old man admitting in court today he stabbed a family to death in Barrhaven last year, killing a mother, her 4 young children, and a family friend. He also attempted to kill the father, who was the sole survivor in the attack. And a warning, the details in this story are disturbing. CTV's Katie Griffin was in court today and joins us now with more. Katie.
Well, Patricia, this is a crime that broke the city's collective heart. Court heard today how a father fought off his attacker while trying to get to his wife and kids, and a disturbing description of the horrifying events that happened that night in March 2024. Some of the details are too disturbing to include, but what we are sharing is still difficult to hear.
Danushka Wickramasinghe, the lone survivor of Ottawa's worst mass murder in recent memory, leaving court after the man he welcomed into his home pleaded guilty to killing his family and a friend.
The offender's callous and shocking actions are inexplicable and unimaginable.
Fabio De Zoysa pleaded guilty Thursday to 4 counts of first-degree murder, 2 counts of second-degree murder, and 1 count of attempted murder. It was March 2024 when 6 people were found dead inside this Barrhaven townhome on Barrhaven Drive. Wickramasinghe's wife, Darshani Ekaniga, was stabbed to death. Their 4 children, 7-year-old Anuka, 4-year-old Ashwini, 3-year-old Ranaya, and 2-month-old Kelly were also killed, along with Gamini Amarakun, a family friend, who leaves a wife and 2 young children without a father. According to the agreed statement of facts, De Zoysa was broke and he originally purchased the knife used in order to take his own life, but told a homicide detective he was too weak to do it and then plotted the murders. "'Cause I couldn't pay rent, I couldn't do anything. They've been nothing but good to me. It's nothing personal. I didn't know what to do."
Court heard that after the murders, De Zoysa was scrolling TikTok. He never called 911 and stayed in the house with the bodies for hours, even calling Danushka asking what time he would be home and then attacking him once he arrived.
Superior Court Justice Kevin Phillips said the level of violence was stupefying, monstrous, even demonic. "You are the stuff of nightmares. If I could give consecutive sentences, I would."
Nothing ever prepares you for just such a shocking case of mass brutality. And I think that justice has been served for all of the victims in this case and for our community at large.
In a victim impact statement, Wickramasinghe said, "I wake up every day with their faces in my heart. There is no recovery from this. I can only hope by helping others, I can honor them." Amara Kuhn's wife described a hardworking and loving family man. "My whole world had been shattered in an instant."
This is a very tragic case. My heart goes out to all of the people that were affected by this. The victims and the community will be spared the further pain of a trial. I know that there are a lot of unanswered questions in this case. Some of them I simply don't have, and others I'm simply not at liberty to provide.
Addressing the court, De Zoysa said, "I'm deeply sorry for what I've done. I will spend the rest of my life accepting responsibility for the harm I've caused."
If there is a story to be told today, let it be about Danushka's bravery, about his beautiful family, his wife and his children. Let it be about Gamini's devotion to his family in Sri Lanka, his wife and his children. Let it be about the loss we all feel today, the loss of innocent members of our community.
DeSoisa was sentenced to life in prison with no chance of parole for 25 years. The judge told DeSoisa his actions shook the community to its core, destroyed 2 beautiful families, and sentenced many people to a lifetime of sorrow. Patricia.
Katie, adding to all of this is another battle the families fight to stay in Canada.
That's right. Danushka has been approved in principle for permanent residency. His brother and father have applied on humanitarian and compassionate grounds, but his brother has been waiting months for an extension to his work permit so that he can continue to work here and send money back to his family in Sri Lanka. Patricia.
CTV's Katie Griffin live for us tonight. Thank you. Well, Ottawa Mayor Mark Sutcliffe says he hopes today's guilty plea brings the family some closure.
This has been a very tragic event in our city's history, and I feel for Danushka and his family. I've spoken with him many times, and I feel a great deal of sympathy for him and everything he's been through. And I hope that this is a milestone for him as his grief continues. I hope it gives him some closure, but I know that this is going to continue to be a difficult time for him.
After the mass killing, Sutcliffe ran the Ottawa Marathon in support of the father and in honor of the victims. And you can scan the QR code on the bottom of your screen to link to us online or visit ctvnewsottawa.ca. We do have more details on the guilty plea in the Barrhaven mass killing. Well, here's a live look now through our Centennial Glass Skycam. It is dark and it is chilly. We are at the freezing mark right now, 0 degrees in Ottawa. And some chilly stuff on the way as we take a look here. Partly cloudy this evening. We do have a chance of showers or flurries tomorrow. You'll wake up to probably some precipitation. It improves on Saturday with a mix of sun and cloud. But there is some snow in the forecast on Sunday, which could impact the Atletico game as we take a look at the next 24 hours. Pretty chilly, -1 at 8 o'clock, -2 in the morning, then getting back up onto the positive side with that chance of precipitation. Right now in the capital, again, we are at 0. We saw a mix of sun and cloud through the day, but the sun has now set. Well, the Ottawa Redblacks have their man. The organization setting its sights on a Toronto coach who's had all kinds of success in recent years and making a big move by hiring him away from the Argos before the CFL season is even over and handing him not just 1 title, but 3. Ryan Dinwiddie, regarded by some as the best coach in the league, has been brought in to help revitalize the franchise after another losing season. CTV's Dylan Dyson joins us now with more on this. Dylan.
Patricia, the Redblacks ended the season with a record of 4 wins and 14 losses, worst in the CFL. Now coming from the Toronto Argonauts, Dinwiddie joins as head coach, GM, and offensive coordinator, having won 2 Grey Cups and a Coach of the Year award, all in the last 4 seasons.
Officially, I'm thrilled to announce our newest head coach and general manager, Ryan Dinwiddie.
There's new leadership on the field and in the front office for the Ottawa Redblacks.
Well, beyond ecstatic to be here. Great opportunity.
Just weeks after its season ended and in the middle of the CFL playoffs, the Ottawa Redblacks went out and got their guy to lead the franchise, Ryan Dinwiddie.
Got the phone call Monday from my agent, said that, we got granted permission. I went and bought this suit in about 15 minutes. And I knew this is the job I wanted.
To be clear, Ryan was plan A.
Ryan, I'll be quick and simple with it. You guys will get into your questions, but simple why, winner.
Dinwiddie comes to the nation's capital from the Toronto Argonauts, where he won the Grey Cup in 2022 and 24 and was named Coach of the Year in 2023.
Hopefully be here for a long time and build a consistent winner where, we're in the playoffs each year, fighting for a chance to win a Grey Cup. That's our expectations. That's going to be our standard moving forward.
He'll be tasked with turning around a Redblacks franchise that finished last in the league this year and has missed the playoffs in 5 of the last 6 seasons.
This is the best offensive mind in the CFL and maybe the best head coach. So to get that person here when you're coming off a 4-win season, I think is massive and necessary for this franchise.
The team hoping this move at head coach will get the fans back on side and filling seats.
It's been too long where we're just not getting the wins when we need it. So obviously something needs to change, and this might be it.
This is a pivotal time for our franchise. We need to be better. Our city and our fans deserve better. And I believe today is day 1 of an exciting new future for the Ottawa Redblacks.
Dinwiddie is already on the job and, as mentioned, comes in as the new head coach and general manager, moving former GM Sean Burke up to vice president of football operations, where the two say they will be working together to bring winning football back to Ottawa. Patricia.
A lot of fans felt they had to do something, and this is really something, a big move. Thanks, Dylan, for this.
Still ahead, the gold star at the Arnprior Library goes to this Golden, training to become a therapy dog by making story time happy for all. That story coming up.
Ottawa police are investigating a stabbing that happened just outside of the Rideau Centre last night. Emergency responders were called to an entrance to the mall along Rideau Street about 10 minutes before 8 o'clock. A man was found at the scene with stab wounds. He was brought to hospital in critical condition. There is still no word on any suspects or arrests. Ottawa police have charged a 52-year-old man with possession of child sexual abuse and exploitation material. John Gordon was arrested on October 24th after officers conducted a search warrant. Police are concerned there may be other victims due to Gordon's involvement in the community. Well, a man is facing charges in connection with a homicide in Leeds County that happened more than 2 years ago. 66-year-old Gilles Dagenet was found dead at a home in the Toledo area on July 31st, 2023. Following an extensive investigation, OPP arrested a 58-year-old Smiths Falls resident today. He is now facing a charge of first-degree murder. 2 men are facing charges after a drug bust in Overbrook. Police say officers were on patrol on Donald Street Tuesday afternoon when they found a vehicle, searched it, and seized a considerable quantity of drugs, including fentanyl, cocaine, hydromorphone pills, and crystal meth. A 25-year-old and 27-year-old were arrested and charged. Firefighters managed to extinguish a blaze in Lowertown before it spread last night. The fire broke out at a building on Dalhousie Street just before 7:30. When crews arrived on scene, black smoke and flames were coming from the 3rd floor. No one was inside at the time and no injuries were reported. The cause is under investigation. A months-long legal battle over the future of ostriches at a BC farm has come to an end. The Supreme Court has dismissed an appeal to stop a call order to euthanize the flock. This all began last December when dead birds at the farm tested positive for avian flu. The Canadian Food Inspection Agency then issued a call order. The farm fought back. The case made its way all the way to the Supreme Court and sparked protests, with the farm gaining support from across the country and from U.S. politicians. Today's decision means the hundreds of ostriches at the farm will now be euthanized. Well, developing news from Parliament Hill tonight. One of the Conservatives who had been speculated to potentially cross the floor to the Liberals is resigning as an MP altogether. Edmonton MP Matt Genereux releasing a statement moments ago saying he ran in the last election hopeful that Canadians would put faith in a team led by Pierre Poilievre's Conservatives and that he wanted desperately to play a role in that vision. He did not elaborate on why he's resigning. This comes just 2 days after a Nova Scotia Conservative MP did cross the floor to the Liberals. Meantime, Prime Minister Carney's federal budget just passed its first big test tonight, the government surviving a confidence vote in the House of Commons. The vote taking place moments ago. It was on a Conservative sub-amendment to the budget. The Tories want some changes made, but the minority Liberal government did not fall after the NDP Bloc and Greens voted against the motion. A Bloc Québécois amendment that also calls for the House to reject the budget will be voted on tomorrow. The NDP says it is still studying that one. Meantime, we're learning more about the province's finances tonight. The Ford government releasing its fall economic statement today. It's providing a clearer picture of how the trade war is impacting the province's economy with a deficit in the billions. CTV's Queen's Park Bureau Chief Siobhan Morris has the details.
U.S. tariffs cast a dark shadow on Queen's Park and the latest fiscal outlook. Recycling the title of the spring budget, the plan to protect Ontario shows a lot of downward trends. The deficit is $1 billion smaller than projected in the spring, but it's down arrows for economic growth, employment, and housing starts. The finance minister says these trying times call for a steady hand.
They demand that we protect our workers and businesses and national industries from uncertainty.
But there are few new investments here for Ontario residents and businesses under strain. There is $100 million more for a fund to help smaller businesses reach new markets. There's an expansion of a manufacturing tax credit. A $5 billion fund announced in the spring has only paid out $100 million to Algoma Steel.
We've been in the process of adjudicating those applications, and we'll be having some announcements real soon.
Not enough for the opposition. They want to know if there are strings attached to that provincial help.
Workers and their families are lying awake at night worrying about layoffs and plant closures. This premier still has no jobs plan.
The minister says the government acted back in the spring.
$30 billion of tariff supports, $9 billion in deferrals, $2 billion of WSIB rebates that are flowing to businesses so they can stay open, they can meet payroll and compete.
This plan makes official promises of $1 billion more for home care and a tax break for first-time homebuyers on some new homes. But with a predicted economic cool-down ahead,
the minister continues either to be deluded or to not being transparent when he forecasts a path to balance in 2027-28.
As the government builds new highways and contemplates a tunnel under the 401, it's ending the practice of setting greenhouse gas emission reduction targets.
They don't care about the fact that we're seeing increasing costs and risks associated with unsafe weather events fueled by the climate crisis.
Bethlen Falvey insists they're committed to reducing emissions through things like investing in nuclear energy.
So we're not going to relent, but we're going to focus on outcomes and not targets.
Siobhan Morris, CTV News.
Well, it's a way to honor veterans and the significant sacrifices they made for their country. The City of Ottawa holding a commemorative street naming ceremony today to ensure one impressive local veteran's name is never forgotten. CTV's Natalie Van Roy is here live with more on this. Natalie.
Thanks, Patricia. Elsa Lessard had an important role in World War II. As a member of the Women's Royal Canadian Naval Service, she intercepted secret German radio messages during the Battle of the Atlantic and then went on to live a productive life here in Ottawa. She was over 100 years old when she passed away last summer. World War II veteran Elsa Lessard honored in Ottawa Thursday with a street naming ceremony. Lessard enlisted in the Women's Royal Canadian Naval Service in 1942.
She was one of the few recognized women's veterans during the Second World War, and I think that to her was hugely integral into her identity.
During World War II, Lessard used Morse code to intercept German radio messages during the Battle of the Atlantic.
She served at 2 secret stations. Elsa spent long hours listening through static and carefully recording coded transmissions from German submarines.
This top secret work helped the Allies find the U-boats that were sinking Allied supply ships crossing the Atlantic Ocean, and it was critical to the war effort.
Her work highly regarded, but also top secret. The impact only revealed decades later after the war ended.
I hope that when people see that sign, they think to ask, who was this woman? And learn from that, not just her personal story, but the larger story of the contributions that women and men made in the Second World War.
Lessard lived for many years in the Ottawa area, where she died at 103 years old in July of this year.
Mom was equally devoted to the community of Ottawa, where she lived for most of her 103 years.
The street sign will be installed in the Rideau Rockcliffe ward by November 2027.
In Wateridge Village, the former CFB Rockcliffe base. I think it's so fitting that it's going to be installed in that neighborhood.
A personal story of remembrance that will be honored for years to come. And there's a number of events leading up to Remembrance Day this year. Veterans Week kicked off November 5th. And for all of the details, head to our website, ctvnewsottawa.ca. Patricia.
A lot of people will want to know more about her story. It's very incredible. Natalie, thank you for this. CTV's Natalie Van Roy live for us
kind of
tonight.
understands you from on the inside. He just knows how you're feeling.
Well, coming up, a golden retriever therapy dog is bringing comfort to students in Arnprior. As we take another live look through our Centennial Glass Sky Cam, a chilly Thursday evening for you. We're just hovering at the freezing mark. It is 0 degrees in the capital.
With a warm welcome and all the charm of a historic village, exploring unique retailers makes living here in Westport fun and easy.
Welcome to Life is Good Westport.
Today we're talking about the upcoming Westport Holiday Shop and Hop. It's a gingerbread-filled weekend, filled with lots of unique shopping experiences as well as outdoor markets, Santa Claus parade, and a whole lot of fun for the family.
I love that. Life is good here in Westport. Make sure to visit watercolorwestport.com for all the details.
Well, our popular Team of the Week segment is back. If you want to be a part of our Myers Automotive Group Team of the Week, upload your video to ctvnewsottawa.ca. Well, it's not every day a golden retriever steals the spotlight at story time, but at the Arnprior Library, Cooper is doing just that. A therapy dog brightening the day, one pat at a time. Here's CTV's Caitlin Wilson.
Sometimes my cop's hands shake.
It's story time at the Arnprior Library. But today's guest isn't here for the books. When Cooper walks in, pages stop turning and suddenly the room lights up.
Whenever you pet him and everybody's happy with him, he gives back like the same energy.
Yeah, he's just like the best and he just has a lot of joy.
The 6-year-old golden retriever is a therapy dog with the St. John Ambulance program. His visits here are part of the ongoing experience, helping him spread joy and connection, one wagging tail at a time.
His job is to provide comfort to people, to give them just a level of feeling good.
Cooper's been evaluated to work with those 12 and older, and his handler hopes to expand that to younger children. Beyond nursing and retirement homes, his latest visit includes this group of grade 7 students from St. Joseph's Catholic School.
Grade 7 can be tricky. Their moods can be all over the place, but he definitely brings them up.
Just ask them yourself.
I was kind of having a bad day today, and then he kind of like just came to me because he saw that like sad expression.
Yeah, it makes it feel more calming at the library. Just from like petting him and stuff and like him looking at me and stuff, it just made me feel better.
For Carrie Phillips, every smile is a reminder of why she started this journey. A patient herself at the Heart Institute last December.
It just made such a difference for me to have a dog come and visit me while I was recovering there.
And in a space filled with stories, Cooper's is one of compassion.
I just want to like love him and I don't want anybody else to, but then I'm like, I have to share him, I guess.
Because sometimes the best kind of therapy isn't spoken, it's shared with a furry friend by your side.
I think it's a wonderful program. If anyone has a dog that they think would be as lovely as a Cooper, it's such a positive thing to pursue.
Do you think every library should have a Cooper?
Yeah, I think so.
Caitlin Wilson, CTV News.
Caitlin with the assignment we all would have liked to have today. They make everything better. Still fall, but some winter weather could be on the way. We saw some beautiful orange leaves today on the trees at U Ottawa, but the ground could soon be covered in snow. Yes, that is in the forecast as we take our first full look at what is out there. And it's also going to be a little blustery tonight and tomorrow. We're going to see some significant wind as well, but you could wake up to possibly showers, possibly a little bit of snow, and we do have snow in the forecast for Sunday as well. As we take a look at how things are playing out in November in other parts of the country, mostly single digits in the east and inching into that negative territory in a few areas now. Sudbury and Timmins seeing those negative temperatures, -1, -3 degrees, a little warmer in Toronto and into Windsor. As we take a look out west, 4 degrees in Winnipeg, 6 in Regina with a mix of sun and cloud. Colder a little further north. Edmonton seeing 1 degree, 0 in Saskatoon. But Calgary, pretty pleasant, 10 degrees, mostly sunny, and Vancouver still some warmth there at 12 degrees. As we take a look at our overnight lows tonight, and yes, we are going to be getting into negative territory right here and well into it. -8 is your overnight low in Ottawa, and again with the wind, it's going to feel a little bit cooler. We are talking about wind chill into tonight and tomorrow, so that's a phrase you'll be hearing a lot over the next little bit. Kingston a little warmer along the Seaway, as is Trenton, -2, the overnight low there. -4 in Gatineau, Kemptville -6 to the west in Petawawa. They'll see -4 tonight. Colder in Maniwaki and in Mont-Tremblant. All right, taking a look at the daytime highs, which are not bad. We're rebounding reasonably well after a chilly start to the morning. That possibility of mixed precipitation, showers, or a little bit of snow. 6 degrees, the daytime high in Ottawa. We will see double digits in Kingston. They should get back up to 10 degrees to end the week. 9 degrees in Trenton. The colder stuff yet to come. As we take a look to the north, 1 degree in Maniwaki tomorrow. That possibility of snow in Petawawa. Gatineau, 3 degrees. 4 to the east in Montreal, and Kempville will see 6 degrees tomorrow. Your 7-day forecast is brought to you by Davidson Hearing Aid Centers, celebrating over 80 years in family business. So let's take a look at the next few days. About a 30% chance of that precipitation through the day tomorrow and +6. Then on Saturday, gets a little warmer. We have some sunshine and 7 degrees. But Sunday's the day that gets really interesting at 2 degrees with a pretty good chance we're going to see some snow. Could affect the Atletico game, and they're telling us if there is enough snow on the ground to cover the pitch, then they will bring out an orange ball instead of a white one because of the snow, which would be a really nice Canadian feel.
We were startled awake, and we recognized that the alarm sounded different than a normal fire alarm, and it was stating carbon monoxide.
Well, just ahead, the rules are changing for carbon monoxide alarms in homes. What to know about the life-saving devices and where they will be legally required.
Tonight, Prince Harry's mea culpa.
I would like to apologise to Canada for wearing it. Secondly, I was under duress.
Why he's saying sorry to Canadians for what he wore during the World Series. We'll have that story and more later on CTV National News.
Well, carbon monoxide is known as the silent killer. It's odorless and colorless and can leak into homes from faulty gas or wood-burning equipment, or even from a car in your garage. As CTV's Sean Varden tells us, changes to Ontario's fire code should make it easier to detect carbon monoxide and save lives.
That sound can save your life.
I don't want to think about what could have happened.
For Tracy Knowles and her family, a carbon monoxide detector made that difference.
We were startled awake, and we recognized that the alarm sounded different than a normal fire alarm, and it was stating carbon monoxide. So we got up, my husband and I, and we exited our home and called 911.
Ottawa Fire Services arrived within minutes of the 911 call. It was determined the malfunctioning furnace was the culprit. Since then, Knowles has installed carbon monoxide detectors throughout her home, getting a head start on changes coming to Ontario's fire code starting in 2026.
Carbon monoxide alarms will no longer only be required outside of where they sleep if they have a fuel-burning appliance, a wood stove, or an attached garage. They're now going to be required on every level of the home.
And carbon monoxide detectors come in all shapes and sizes. Some models detect smoke and carbon monoxide, some plug into the wall with a standby battery, and some have 10-year batteries and can be mounted anywhere. All Canadian Standard Association approved detectors get the job done. And if a carbon monoxide alarm goes off, Ottawa Fire has simple steps to follow.
If it's 2 easy steps, go to fresh air and call 911. What we see the most is residents will start opening up all their windows. Don't do that. When our crews arrive, we'll just have to close them all, wait for the carbon monoxide to build back up to find out what the source is of carbon monoxide.
For Knowles, the message is simple.
Make sure that you are prepared and get those alarms. They're not expensive. They're easily found.
The new regulations kick in on January 1st. Sean Varden, CTV News.
Well, now some other stories you need to know right now. The Toronto Blue Jays are closing out their historic season with an end-of-year news conference today, but it remains to be seen how many players will return to the squad next year, including star infielder and free agent Bo Bichette.
He's been a special part of this organization and a special part of us building towards this, and he certainly, makes our team better. So as we go through the off-season planning, I'm sure that'll be factored in.
The Jays have extended a qualifying offer to Bichette of just over $22 million for next season. He has until November 18th to accept the offer.
Tim Stutzler the other way with Dylan Cousins. Stutzler to the net, scores! What a goal! Tim Stutzler.
Well, the Sens will be looking for a win tonight after last weekend's loss against the Habs. They are in Boston facing off against the Bruins. Puck drop is at 7 p.m. You can catch the action on TSN 1200.
Puck got down to the air by Ovechkin. Here's Fisher going to the shot. Missed it. Ovechkin.
Alexander Ovechkin has made NHL history once again. The Washington Capitals forward is now the only NHLer to score 900 goals after finding the back of the net in the second period of last night's game against the St. Louis Blues. Ovechkin overtook Wayne Gretzky as the league's all-time leading goal scorer in April. And the ongoing U.S. shutdown could now start affecting Canadian travelers. Washington is reducing air traffic at many airports as air traffic controllers work without pay. Experts say delayed flights in U.S. airspace could ripple through Canadian schedules because the systems are deeply linked. Travelers are being advised to check their flights regularly and expect longer wait times at the airport.
Common cold is what we're seeing a lot of right now. This is rhinovirus and many other types of virus. And this tends to cause milder symptoms, but people could still feel quite unwell.
Well, you probably know someone who is sick right now. Maybe you are right now as you're watching this, feeling under the weather. Just ahead, Ottawa's top doctor, Trevor Arneson, joins us to discuss what you need to know about those respiratory viruses spreading throughout the capital.
Get the latest live local breaking news. Sign up now for our morning and evening CTV News Ottawa newsletter. The best local content from CTV News, Your Morning Ottawa, and News Talk 580 CFRA. Get it all in one place. Sign up now at ctvnewsottawa.ca. The CTV News Ottawa newsletter is brought to you in part by CAA Business. We will never forget your bravery, your strength, your sacrifice.
The very best and bravest of our nation, these heroic souls stood on guard for freedom.
Join the CTV News team and me as Canada comes together to remember.
Remembrance Day 2025, Tuesday morning at 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific on CTV.
This is your United Way Minute.
Second Stage Housing Program is a transitional housing program at Lanark County Interval House that aims to support women for up to 18 months after leaving an abusive situation.
From day one, felt accepted, felt heard and validated within my concerns, within my family situation and the abuse that I was enduring. My son and I entered the program with 2 suitcases, one for him, one for me. Having access to safety, security, and affordable housing really made a huge difference for me.
The United Way allows the Second Stage Housing Program to be present in Lanark County. This allows women and children to get a stepping stone to their future, and without the United Way, we wouldn't have that for them.
The mental focus that I put towards healing myself in this program was huge. I'm mentally stronger moving forward for sure.
Help provide safety, security, and a bright future for families in rural communities. Donate today at unitedwayeo.ca or call 613-228-6700.
Well, if you're in a workplace or school, you may notice many people are off sick these days. Something is going around as we return to our segment tonight focused on your health. And this evening, it's about respiratory illnesses, how to know the difference between the common cold, the flu, COVID, RSV, lots of nasty stuff out there making people feel unwell. Yeah, can relate to that, coughing and sniffling for sure. Dr. Trevor Arneson is Ottawa's Medical Officer of Health and joins us now on this. So what is going around? Is it just the cold?
Yeah, so no, there's many things going around. So there's often hundreds of viruses that are circulating at this time of year. Common cold is what we're seeing a lot of right now. This is rhinovirus and many other types of virus. And this tends to cause milder symptoms, but people could still feel quite unwell. And now we're entering into the part of the year where we see flu as well mixing in, and COVID is still around, and then RSV, also a seasonal virus that's coming now as well.
So let's talk about how you know the difference, because I'm thinking, I just had a cold. Why do I feel so rotten? I'm aching. Maybe it was a man cold. I don't know. But it could be obviously something else. How do you know what you've got?
Yeah. So it's really hard to tell. In fact, you may not be able to tell the difference. And that's because they all cause the similar symptoms like fever, cough, sore throat, runny nose. And these can make you feel really bad. So there's no shame in feeling unwell. When we talk about flu and more serious respiratory viruses, often we see more muscle aches, fatigue, and in kids we can see vomiting, abdominal pain. And really when we're talking about a serious illness, Shortness of breath is the big concern because these are respiratory viruses, which means they affect the lungs. And if you get really sick, that can be a really worrying symptom.
Yeah, I remember having bronchial pneumonia one time. That was not fun, but it's the aches and pains with some of that stuff where you feel rotten, but it's probably not that serious. So when do you seek care? When do you consider your symptoms actually quite dangerous?
Yeah, so most of the time these things can be managed at home. It's really about making yourself feel better, managing the symptoms, and also preventing the spread to other people. That's the focus in the vast majority of these. The issue when people have more respiratory distress, trouble breathing, chest pain, that's when you're going to want to think about contacting someone about your symptoms. So in Ontario, we have Health 811 you can call 24/7 and speak to a registered nurse about whether you need to seek care. There's primary care providers that many people can get information about their symptoms and what they need to do. But certainly if someone's having real breathing problems or fainting or confusion, especially in kids, this is when you'd want to start thinking about going to an emergency department.
We recognize that in ourselves, right? You feel worse than you would typically. When you are a caregiver, a parent, you're watching that in your child, particularly in an infant, where they can't communicate with you the regular way. How do you know it's a concern? You're probably more likely to seek out someone's advice a little earlier.
Yeah, so I mean, really focusing on that symptom of respiratory, I think, is the most important thing. So breathing, because children can often have more challenging issues with their lungs. Asthma is very prevalent in children. So that's the main feature. The other symptoms like fever, cough, sometimes people want to seek out care for that, but often that's less worrying than issues around breathing and certainly chest pain or passing out or fainting.
Makes a lot of sense. Dr. Arneson, thank you very much. Appreciate your time.
Thanks.
And we do have more details on this year's respiratory virus season and how to protect yourself. You can find all of that on our website, ctvnewsottawa.ca.
My aunt's been here, grandmother's been here, my great-grandmother's been here. So it's a real privilege for me to be able to be here.
And Harry's hat trick. He tells CTV why he donned a Dodgers cap, creating a Canadian controversy. But does he pledge allegiance to the Jays? That's coming up.
With a warm welcome and all the charm of a historic village, exploring unique retailers makes living here in Westport fun and easy.
Welcome to Life is Good Westport. Today we're talking about the upcoming Westport Holiday Shop and Hop. It's a gingerbread-filled weekend, filled with lots of unique shopping experiences as well as outdoor markets, Santa Claus parade, and a whole lot of fun for the family.
I love that. Life is good here in Westport. Make sure to visit watercolorwestport.com for all the details.
iHeartRadio Weekenders is powered by Barrhaven Ford, Ottawa's newest and largest Ford store, and Eastern Ontario's Ford EV leader.
All right, time to get you weekend ready. We're going to check in now with our iHeartRadio Weekender, Tanea Taylor. Tanea.
Great chance to experience Canadian cinema at the 9th Annual OCAN Film Festival this weekend. 3 days of dramas, shorts, and documentaries you're not going to see anywhere else. Every ticket sold helps support Canadian filmmakers. You can check out the OCAN website, ocanfilmfest.ca, for more information about all the films. Next up, one of my favorite events of the year is happening at the Nepean Sportsplex this weekend. If you want a head start on your Christmas shopping or just browse for some ideas, head to the Christmas Craft Show. With over 100 vendors on site, it's a really great way to get into the holiday spirit a little bit early. Vendors include clothing, home and garden, pet products, and lots more. Admission is just $7 for adults, and kids 12 and under get in free. Last on today's list is the Rock the Wild benefit concert happening tomorrow night at Meridian Theatres at Center Point. This show supports access to outdoor learning for neurodiverse folks and others, including equity-denied learners, and it features Juno Award winner Talk, plus other local artists like Emma LaMontagne, Jonathan Chandler, and Julia Rita. Of course, lots more happening around the capital this weekend. For the full list and all the details, check ctvottawa.ca/weekenders. For the iHeartRadio Weekenders, I'm Tanea Taylor. Have a great one.
iHeartRadio Weekenders is powered by Barrhaven Ford, Ottawa's newest and largest Ford store, and Eastern Ontario's Ford EV leader.
Well, Prince Harry is in Toronto visiting veterans ahead of Remembrance Day. He's also apologizing to Blue Jays fans after wearing an LA Dodgers hat during the World Series. The Prince spoke exclusively to CTV about it as he met with some of the country's oldest war heroes. Here's CTV's John Venevali Rao.
The Prince's visit took him to Toronto's Sunnybrook Veterans Centre, the biggest care facility of its kind in the country.
How old are you now? I'm almost 102.
Here, Prince Harry met with some of the nation's oldest veterans who served in either the Second World War or the Korean War, and the Prince seeming to really enjoy himself.
For me, it's the banter. It's the banter, it's the humour, it's the community that they are given here.
Here, veterans are taking part in creative art therapies, where both art and music are used to help vets with their physical and mental health. Brenda Reed, who's 101, thrilled to meet the Prince.
He certainly has lots of charm. You just talk to him. I practically called him Harry.
Prince Harry's, of course, a veteran himself. He did 2 tours of duty in Afghanistan with the British Armed Forces, saying he's just one of a long list of family members to visit veterans here.
My aunt's been here, grandmother's been here, my great-grandmother's been here. So it's a real privilege for me to be able to be here.
The Prince helping to paint poppies on a military helmet, one of several being auctioned off by the military charity True Patriot Love.
I just wanted to give you the opportunity.
And towards the end of the visit, a moment of levity, the Prince was presented with a Blue Jays hat. He was widely criticized across the country after being spotted at Dodgers Stadium sporting a Dodgers hat during the World Series.
I would like to apologise to Canada for wearing it. Secondly, I was under duress. There wasn't much choice. I was invited to the LA Dodgers box, or the dugout, by the owner himself, so I was doing what I thought was the polite thing to do. But I'm going to wear this from now on to make sure I don't make any more of those mistakes.
As for the veterans,
it was really special.
They seemed pleased to meet the Prince. And for the veterans, the Prince's visit was another reminder that their service is not forgotten. John Vanavelli-Rouse, CTV News, Toronto.
Well, coming up, you may have a chance to see the Northern Lights tonight. We'll have those details after the break. Here's a live look through our Centennial Glass Skycam. We've dipped below the freezing mark. It's now -1 in the capital. We will be back to wrap the show in just a moment.
Tomorrow on CTV Your Morning Ottawa, we're checking out this weekend's new movies, including the latest film in the action-packed Predator franchise. Wake up the right way with Your Morning Ottawa starting at 6 a.m.
Hairstyles, courtesy of Salon Fiorella.
Well, here's what's on CTV tonight. E-Talk, George and Mandy's first marriage, Hell's Kitchen, 911 Nashville, and Grey's Anatomy. And here's a recap of the top stories we are following right now.
This is a very tragic case. My heart goes out to all of the people that were affected by this.
A guilty plea in one of Ottawa's worst mass killings in our history. A man admits to killing 6 people in a Barrhaven home, including a mother, her 4 young children, and a friend of the family.
She was one of the few recognized women's veterans during the Second World War, and I think that to her was hugely integral into her identity.
A special tribute for a local World War II veteran, the city honoring Elsa Lassard in a commemorative street naming ceremony today.
I believe today is day 1 of an exciting new future for the Ottawa Redblacks.
Yes, the Redblacks got their man stealing Ryan Dinwiddie from the Toronto Argos, making him GM as well as head coach. And one final look at the forecast. It's going to be a little blustery this evening and into the overnight. And yeah, probably not as much snow as it looks like there, but we could see flurries when you wake up, maybe some rain showers as well. -2 to start. It will warm up a little to 6 degrees tomorrow to end your week. And the weekend is a bit of a mixed bag. We have 7 degrees on your Saturday. And then Sunday, a pretty good chance we will see some snow flurries, just 2 degrees for the high on Sunday. And our team is working ahead to the 11:30 news. Kimberly Fowler is here. Kimberly?
Yeah, we got the Sens playing tonight. They're in Boston, so we'll have a recap of that game against the Bruins. And we'll have more from tonight's Blue Door Gala for the Ottawa Mission. Every dollar raised helps those rebuilding their lives. CTV's Jackie Perez is emceeing the event right now, and Sean Varden will have a recap of the night of the incredible stories, all while supporting life-changing programs. And of course, you can get the news anytime, anywhere at ctvnewsottawa.ca. And join me tonight for CTV News at 11:30.
All right, good stuff. Will do. And finally for us tonight, sky watchers could be in for a bit of a show. The northern lights may be visible across most of Canada, possibly even right here in Ottawa. So chances of seeing a little bit of this. The lights will be highest in Western Canada, Northern Ontario, Quebec, and the Territories. According to the Aurora forecast, they could also be visible here in the capital, although they may not appear as bright. Now, the best way to see the lights is to get out of the city and look for areas that have clear conditions. We will have some cloud right here. We do have some precipitation possible into the morning hours. So,
have you ever seen the Northern Lights in person?
I have never seen them, Kimberly.
I want to see them so badly.
I don't want to see them here. I want to see them up north. I want it to be like the real deal. So I'm going to have to keep my eyes down just in case.
Well, when I was in Regina, everyone said, you'll see them all the time. And I was there for nearly 2 years. I never saw them once.
Every time I've gone north, it's supposed to be a good time to see them, and I have not. I'm sleeping too much, I guess.
Maybe.
Have a good evening, everyone.